One-on-one conversation, 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comers with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs.
Second biggest hit was actually 11 weeks #1 on Billboard. Little tune called Jumpstart. Just like this. One, go!
Everybody, I'm sorry. I was over here jamming. Happy Monday. I was getting my groove on to our special guest, NILS. Were y'all just loving that song? I was loving the vibe. Thank you all so much for coming in the room. I see Dr. Graham is here. I see my beautiful friend Castella is here. I see people coming on in the room. Are you all ready for this exciting show tonight with international recording artist NILS? Well, you know what? I'm ready to go ahead and get Artist Talk started right now.
Live from WKRW, welcome to Artist Talk, a live one-on-one conversation with your host, the man with the golden voice, Jazzie K Ward.
Hey everybody, welcome to Artist Talk. I'm your host, Jazzie K Ward. So glad to be here with you on this Monday. As we said, we started the show out, and our guest Nils, he was over there jamming live music. I was just loving that, y'all. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I see people coming in the room. Please go ahead and share the video, share the live, share the love. Go over to K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel. Make sure you like the page. There's a little like button right over there. Make sure you hit it twice so you can turn the notifications on. KWardRadio.com is my website. Make sure you subscribe. And if you don't, as we say on the show, shame on you. Shame on you. If you don't know our special guest tonight, international recording artist, producer, and composer NILS is here, y'all. I'm so excited. Hey, recording artist Charles P. Walker, I see you. My friend Deb, St. George, Mario. Well, if you didn't know NILS, shame on you. But I'm just give you just a little information, guys, before I bring him on, okay? Our next guest for over a decade has been mesmerizing audience with his sound. He has been producing hit after hit with 6, did you hear me, 6 #1 Billboard hits to his name, included Pacific Coast Highway. You remember that? You know that song? If you don't, shame on you, right? One of the most played songs on the smooth jazz radio since 2000. And I love all of his music, right? And one of his other songs, Caught in the Groove and all that jazz. So everybody, let's give a lot of love and let's welcome our special guest tonight, recording artist, producer, and composer, NILS, to Artist Talk.
Hey, Jazzie, how are you, man?
Oh, good, my friend. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me over.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to have a conversation with me this evening.
Oh, yeah, please. My pleasure.
My pleasure. So I see people in the comments. Hey, Miss Sheila, happy Monday to you all. Everybody, don't forget to go ahead and share the video. But again, NILS, welcome to the show. So how was your Monday today?
It was good. I mean, it's a bit busy day. I was in downtown Los Angeles on a video shoot of one of the artists that I produce.
Okay.
She's doing a really killer music video, so we did a little bit additional producer artist B-roll, kind of multimedia interview kind of hyped stuff, and I just hung out a little bit as they were shooting.
Okay.
Now I'm back here, and then after this, I gotta go and do another drum session for my next upcoming album. So,
well, we cannot wait on that. I know we're going to talk about your new music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of your great music. And I always tell people, you will hear me say, NILS, throughout the show, I use the hashtag shame on you, and it's a good thing. So, I always tell people, like, who's your guest tonight? I said, it's NILS. And they said, I've never heard of him. And I said, shame on you. So hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about his music tonight. So everybody, make sure you go over to the website, which will be posted throughout the show, nilsmusic.com. Is that the best way to find your music and follow you, NILS?
Yeah, there's actually another one. nilsmusic.com is my official artist page. There's nilsguitar.com for the fan club.
Okay.
And anybody who wants to join the fan club, just to get informed where I'm playing, they get 2 free downloads. They get a newsletter more or less once a month. And then they will get basically first dips at the new record. They get special discounts, special treatments I do for my fan club. So that's at nilsguitar.com.
Okay. Did y'all hear everybody? Make sure you go over there right now. And I think also
free songs.
And you get free songs on there. Can you? You can't beat that, y'all. Hey, Miss Tootie Malone. I see recording artist Miss Tootie Malone. Happy Monday to you again for our guest tonight. If you have comments, if you have questions, Make sure you go there, put them in the comment section. You see there, you get 2 free
Hmm.
downloads on Neil's music and other great. He has some great merchandise also on this page. Some great merchandise
Hmm.
that you should go get too.
T-shirts, book, educational stuff, all the CDs, and jam tracks, which
And
been going really well. Yeah, people.
we love
I
the
was always joke about it because like people are used to paying like $1 for a song when they download it, and they're
Mhm.
paying $4 when they download the song without me on it, opposed to having the backing tracks. There's a lot
Right.
of artists that like to use the music and they get a lead sheet with it, of course, but they can basically learn the songs and use them for whenever they play a party or something,
Okay. I love that. Hey
or
y'all,
just
it's all about
practice and jam. Yeah.
right. It's all about supporting everybody tonight. Of course, we're broadcasting on kwardradio.com. We're on Soul TV Network. Um, we're live everywhere. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We're on Inside Indie Artist Channel. We're on the Roku Network tonight. So don't forget to make sure you share the video. And good evening to my bestie, Nicole, aka
Colleen.
The Owner B. Make sure you check out The World Is Yours. I like to say that, okay? So, Niels, I
Yeah.
do this segment called The Real You.
Okay.
It's just, I'm going to ask you like 3 questions
Hmm.
just so our guests can get to know a little bit more about you
Okay.
outside, maybe of your music profession too. So
Hmm.
I won't get too much in your business. It's fun. It's all in
Ask
fun.
away. Ask away. I'm not shy.
Okay. If you could live anywhere in the world, where
Mm.
would it be and why?
Uh God, that's tough because I like to move around. I'll
Right.
tell you what my favorite. I mean, there's certain places. One of the most beautiful places I've been so far in my life, and I haven't been everywhere. But it was the Virgin Islands,
Oh wow.
Tortola, St. Thomas. I haven't been there many years, but my parents used to live in Puerto Rico for a while. So while they
Okay.
were over there, we did some like that, and of course, but then also I like lakes. I like my dream would be a house on a lake,
All right.
somewhere. So that doesn't really go along with the beach thing, but uh,
I love that.
and then for what I do, living in Los Angeles is an ideal place.
All right.
Because I've been in the center of the music industry. There's so much talent out here that I can draw from. That's just a perfect place to be.
Right. I love that. I love the water too. Now, if I see too much of the water, I get a little, that's like too much to drink. But I love lakes. Oh, that's too much water to drink,
Yeah,
right?
well, lakes are good. There's no sharks in them. There's nothing gonna eat you in there, and they're fun to cool way to cool off and to chill.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
I always say this too, Niels, what a great place to, even if, to clear your mind. There's been so much going on
Yeah,
in the world. And, I believe mind, body, and soul of taking care of your mind, body, and soul. And just, I could imagine just waking up to something like that every morning. Just to
yeah.
look at my grandparents lived out in the country. And as a little boy,
Hmm.
of course, I didn't like that coming from the city. And
You
I
want
was like,
the action.
and my grandparents, it's like, don't you hear the crickets and the birds chirping and the cows? And I'm like, no, I don't like that, grandma. But they've always liked the country. They would sit out on the porch. And the older I get, it, I see the importance of that as I got older.
Yeah, yeah, to find a spot where you truly the zen and you can, yeah. That's the thing. I mean, it's age related. It's like my daughter, she wanted to go to New York, and I said, how can you? I don't want to go. Like L.A. is better, but New York is even crazier as far as traffic and people and all
Right,
that bustle and wuzzle. But when you're young, you want to be in the middle, in the center of the energy and all that kind of stuff.
right. I
And
love that.
now I know what I do. I found my way. I want to just create, have my peace and quiet, and once in a
Mhm.
while go on tour and play for everybody.
That's right. We love
Uh,
that. We love that. So my second question for you is, What do you wish you had more time to do?
uh, more time just to play around with my in my studio. With my there's a stupid thing, really. I'm in the studio. I'm in here every day, and I wish I had more time to be in here.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Makes
I'm
a
in
lot of
here sometimes working on stuff that I have to get done. What I wish would have been basically that I could have just time to play, not be having to worry about, what's coming out. Just like, let's just come up with something crazy today or expect that.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Thank you. And so my next and last question is, what about you has grown, you think, personally in maybe the last 5 years?
Hmm. Um, well, I'm always trying, to keep my growth personal, professionally. I try to be, get better with
Right.
every album that I do, get better with understanding the business of what I do, get more prepared for the ups and downs, and preempt whatever might happen.
Mhm.
As an artist in the beginning, I got thrown around from stuff that was great to like, oh my God, now how I'm gonna make survive this.
Right.
And these days the stuff has kind of I'm getting better in balancing life as such. um, I'm tr- the next thing would be time management becomes more and more important to me. You
Yes.
know, I'd like to have some time. My dad passed away last year,
I'm so
so my
sorry.
mom's all alone back in Europe in Munich,
Okay.
and I'd like to have spend more time over there. And, we made an actual decision to put a little studio in her house. It was a nice place,
Okay.
and so I can actually work from over there
Okay.
and make because I don't know how long she's going to be around, and I don't want to miss out and say, man, I wish I would have seen her more over the last year. So we're going to
Right.
be more and more spending time over there as well.
Okay.
Um, and so what is important to me kind of changes.
Okay. I understand that. Thank you for answering. And again, my sincere condolences on the loss of your
Oh,
dad. And
yeah,
my
it
heart
was.
goes out to you. And I hope your mom is doing. Is she doing okay?
She's doing okay, but she needs, the thing was, I always thought my mom was the one to worry about. My dad was the one taking care of her.
Right.
And I got a call last year that both parents are in the hospital.
Oh
And I
no.
jumped on the first plane back to Europe and just to take care. And I had to stay for almost 3 months
Right.
just to deal with everything. And
Right.
now it's like she has a 24-hour caregiver. She's in a wheelchair.
Okay.
So she's not, she has, and depending on who it is, and they change every few months. She likes one better than the other.
Right.
Um, but
Okay.
that's just life we have to deal with. I was glad that I was able to be able just to take off and go.
Yeah.
I had to fly back for some gigs and back to Munich, and it
Yeah.
was kind of really crazy last year.
I
And it
understand.
still is to a certain degree. There's still stuff I have to deal with to take over my parents' life because
Right.
I'm a single child. Both my parents are single children, so there's no
Okay.
family,
Yeah.
and there's no other option. So I had to.
Right.
And but I'm happy that I got to. I don't have any regrets. I got to talk to my dad at the end. Everything had to be that had to be said was said. We told each other we love each other and how much we appreciate it. And so I don't feel bad about what happened. It's just the
Right.
natural course of life, and it
Right.
helps me to think about like, okay, what's going to happen to me in the next 30, 40 years.
That's right. And I think a lot of times we don't realize. And thank you so much for answering those questions in that real you segment.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, there's been so much Neil's going on. Before the pandemic, now after the pandemic, being a caregiver, and people don't
Mhm.
realize that the amount of it takes a lot mentally, physically.
Mm.
It can take a toll on your body. And trust me, I've been there. Wasn't physically tired, but taking care of a parent,
Mhm.
it could be mentally draining. And that's what has been so helpful to me is music. I
Yeah.
find music to be very
Mhm.
healing. And we're going to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that. And And sometimes I just put on some music from NILS and whatever. If I'm having a bad day, it kind of
Mhm.
helps me get through that time.
Yeah,
And
music is great that way.
yeah, so what was life like for you before the pandemic, NILS? Before everything happened?
Well, it was. Let me see. Before the pandemic, we were doing. I was coming off a nice album called Play, and I was working. Just doing the next record and doing my thing. I got an agent again
Mhm.
that the year before the pandemic, so she started to get me some gigs because I had lost an agent. So there was a few years that were really off the scene
Okay.
after Pacific Coast Highway, and then so I started to play more out, and was really looking forward to. I saw that my career was moving in the right direction, step by step. It's getting easier, it's getting more recognition,
Yeah.
and I produced a record for Lisa Adeo that hit number one on Billboard too. So
Right.
everything was going really well actually,
Great.
and I was looking at doing some really big shows, and that happened, and they got all canceled.
Yeah. And so during that time, what did you find yourself doing more of it? Did it give you a time to kind of reflect and maybe, hey, I need to take care more of me better, write more songs, give you a chance to do more music?
Well, I don't think I can really write or do more in that I'm already doing. I mean, I'm one of the lucky ones. As you see, I have this studio here is in my house,
Okay.
so I kept working, you
Gotcha.
know, and that's my record label calling. Let me put them on hold for now, so they don't disturb our conversation. I apologize.
Yeah.
Um, uh, that I lost my train of thought. Oh, basically, the one thing I did notice, what I did is I forced myself to go out in the backyard, and we have a little yard every day in the afternoon, and just to chill for an hour.
Wow.
Because here I'm in danger of getting the studio tan because I'm always in this dark room, you know. And by the time I'm done, it's usually dark, and I'm never outside. And just to cut down just a little bit, step back a little bit, take an hour in the afternoon just to chill outside in the sun, read a little bit, and relax. And it was very healing. And I was so grateful thinking about what I have. My daughter at the time lived in New York. She
Okay.
with her boyfriend were going crazy in a small, tiny one-bedroom apartment,
Wow.
and us here in LA, we could go out in the backyard and chill, get a little sunlight, and I could still work here in the studio. So I became really appreciative of what I have.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. That's such a blessing. And I found myself, and I think a lot of people, Niels, I call the pandemic a blessing and a curse
Yep.
because, I did lose a lot of friends and some family members, but
Mm, sorry.
it gave me a time to reflect because a lot of times we can procrastinate about a lot of things. I need
Mm,
to get this done. I need to get that done. So it gave me a time to reflect and say, Jazzy, okay,
mhm,
you've been working on this for 2 years, so now you have nothing but time to
mm,
sit and reflect on those things. So I thought that was, also important. It gave me a lot of time to check up on family, other
mhm,
friends that we're so busy. I think a lot of times, Neil, with technology, I text more than I actually sometimes pick up the phone
mhm.
and check on people. So I thought that was so important. I see people coming in. Hey, Drew Davidson. Hey, Colleen. Thank you so much. Hey, Tom. And Kurt said, Niels, that they
Uh-huh.
were calling you to remind you that you were on K Ward Radio tonight.
Oh well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kurt. Hey, everybody. I'm Jazzie K Ward. Our special guest is international recording artist, producer, composer, Niels. Make sure you go over to nilsmusic.com. Also,
Mhm,
nilsguitar.com. You'll see that information posted there. We're going to continue the conversation. He's going to perform also for us tonight. You don't want to miss the segment with Dr. Graham, our healing and wellness segment for the mind, body, and soul. Continue to keep it locked right here on Artist Talk. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm gospel jazz and smooth jazz saxophonist Daryl Beebe. Have you watched Artist Talk with Jazzie K Ward? Well, join him every Monday on Facebook Live or on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you don't, then shame on you.
Hey, this is the video camera shy guy, DJ the Groovologist of GrooveSuite.com. Have you checked out Artist Talk with Jazzie K Ward? Well, if you enjoy candid conversations with jazz and R&B artists of today, join him every Monday on Facebook Live or YouTube at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you don't, hashtag shame on you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I am Jazzie K Ward. Our special guest is recording artist NILS, and we're talking a little bit maybe about his music. Hey Tom, hey Connie. Connie said music is a happy place. It most definitely is. That's right. And so Colleen said, and if you don't know who NILS is, shame on you. That's right. So you'll get to know a little bit more about his amazing music tonight. So before we go into a performance, Neil, just can you tell me a little bit about how did your musical journey start?
Well, I started coming to it started with me coming to LA from Munich, Germany. I wanted to study guitar.
Okay.
And because it didn't seem like the schools in Germany would give me the same kind of what I wanted to learn, I couldn't learn there. So I came over here and I went to Los Angeles school to study guitar, and then to another school to study composition arrangement.
Okay.
And then I started, a friend, I met a guy who had a recording studio, started working as an engineer to get my studio skills up, and until I had my first, I worked my way up to first engineer and got the keys to the studio. And that's when I started recording my first album,
Wow.
And I wanted to do it. I was still more into like fusion, rock fusion kind of stuff back then, or jazz fusion, funky stuff.
Okay.
And then I met a producer who helped me put the first records, who called me, it got to be a little bit more commercial to make money.
Right.
And on that very first album that was called Blue Planet, was done in '98. He helped me put that together, and I was the only unknown person on the record. I had a duet with George Benson on it. I had Abe Laboriel on bass. I had Bobby Lyle on piano. Carl Anderson was singing. Phil Perry, Chante Moore, Saida Garrett was on the record. Paul Jackson Jr. did rhythm guitars for me. So it's like all these heavy hitters and me, who nobody ever heard of.
Well, look at you now, right? Look at you now.
And it was a great record, but it came out, and the record label that I got a record deal with Ichiban, Brajo Ichiban, and they filed bankruptcy when the record came out.
Wow.
So the record never really saw the light of day. They never got, we started a promotion, but it kind of fell off the wagon, and I was kind of like disgusted with the whole thing, and I wanted to go into, maybe I'll get into more film composing, that kind of world, and commercials, writing music for commercials, and wanted to go that, and I just kept working on it, and it was then 8 years later, I had not enough songs for another record together, just by the side, a little song here and there. And I just wanted it as a business card, and only 2 people heard it, and both offered me a record deal.
Wow.
And so one was a bigger label, and the other one was a small mom and pop label. I said, I'll just go with the small people that can't afford just to throw it against the wall to see if it sticks. And the next thing I know, the first song that was released was Pacific Coast Highway, and became the most played smooth jazz song since the year 2000.
I know. How did that make you feel? Just like,
then all of a sudden, a smooth jazz recording artist, like, it's crazy, I didn't have time to go film music anymore.
I remember that song. I still play that song today. Because a lot of my friends,
It became a
I love,
classic. Yeah, thank
I,
God.
I,
It was.
yeah, I love CDs and the CDs.
Mhm,
I know nowadays my niece and nephew, they sound like Corey.
mhm.
You can just plug up the thing in your player. I say, no, I have the CD here. They look at me now like, CD? Like, what is a CD? I'm just like, what? That's what,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
love that. Wow. So when I read that, one of the most played songs on Smooth Jazz Radio since 2000. Did y'all hear that, y'all? Did
Mhm.
y'all hear that? I see people in the comments was like, congratulations. Wow. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I had this thing from Billboard. There was Snoop Dogg, Edith Hart, and there was like some big country hit, and then NILS Pacific Coast Highway Song of the Decade, most played songs from 2000 to 2010, most spins in
wow.
smooth jazz, and it only came out in '05, so it only had 5 years to play.
Right.
you know but
Wow.
it just got worn out, and to this day it's still, if I look at my royalty statements, it's consistently one of the most played songs.
Right.
you know
Yeah. I tell
so
people,
that really did that started my career as in this style of music.
wow, I love it. And I would love for you to play something for us now, Niels. Can you do that for us?
You want to play, you
Yeah.
know
Don't y'all want to hear him say, hey, Alpha, don't y'all want to hear Niels play something, yo?
yeah, let me just like wake my computer up, went to sleep.
Okay.
So, well, let me see. I gotta save this. Are we gonna play two songs today, or are we gonna do one?
We're going to do two.
All right. Then let me, since we're talking about it, why not play Pacific Coast Highway for you all?
Whoa. I would love that.
Yeah. Let me
So,
bring
yeah.
that. Just making sure I wasn't really make sure that's all there.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. Let me grab a guitar over here.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Zoom in a little.
Are y'all ready for some great music?
Let me see if I crank it up a little bit so you can hear it.
Okay.
So that kind of faded out because this goes into a medley here on my system.
I love it. I was over here in my own groove. There, I was like, "Look, I need to be at a concert or just riding down the Pacific Coast Highway listening to this."
Yeah, that's so funny, right? It really it works. A lot of people came up to me and told me that this song is just perfect for taking down the top and cruising down PCA.
Exactly.
And it was called G major B minor all the way up to mastering.
Wow.
Was the title, and it kind of reflected what does it make me feel like. And I
Right.
came up with Pacific Coast Highway, and it seems to resonate with so many people. You know, it's funny.
Yeah, I love, and that was my next question. Is like, how did you come up with the name of the song?
That's always a torture. I mean, it's funny because I could call it anything,
Right.
you know, since it's instrumental music,
Right.
but it's still. I labor over this. You know, right now we were still, you know, and then there's other forces. The record label, they are want to have their input, and you know it's and they have their certain idea what songs should sound like, and I don't feel it. Let's put our thinking. Everybody come up with 10 ideas what the song or the album could be sound. You know, for the new upcoming records coming out in June, July. I don't have a title for the album yet, so we're still laboring on that one.
Right. So when you're searching for a title, Nils, with albums, do you get suggestions from family or friends, or if you sleep at night, something pops in your head and you're like,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I start off writing a song, and sometimes I have a title right there. That's the easiest part, you know. And then, but other times it is I call them, just give it like G major B minor or like a date. I have one song on the new record that was done 9/25, 25th of September is when I wrote it. So that the title of the song was 9 to 5. That's all the numbers. So let's call it 9 to 5.
right. Gotcha.
So and the label might say, no, we don't like the title. We're gonna, you know, and I take myself out of it at this point, unless it's something. There's one song on the new record that they're gonna call "The Last Goodbye."
Okay.
That has to do with the feelings I had when my dad passed away.
Okay.
So that there I'm kind of particular on what the title should be, and I think that's not a problem. But
Right.
you know, but it's funny. A lot of times, also sometimes the songs on my current record, that's the still current one. The title tag was "Caught in the Groove."
Right.
Originally, it was called "Caught in the Loop."
Wow. Gotcha.
Because I had like a loop, and the way I wrote the song, I had this like loop, and I was editing something that was running over and over, just 2 bars or 1 bar, and he said, "Man, this is hypnotic. I got to do something with this." And it was actually from my Christmas album, for a Christmas song.
Right.
But I just took that beat and kind of sampled myself, and then built a whole new song around it.
I love that. You know, and Jackie also said, "What great music! If she wasn't at work, she would have a glass of wine and she would be listening to
I'm
Nils."
out of wine, I have some orange juice right now, but cheers.
But cheers. And Mario said, if you get the opportunity to tour with an artist of your choice, who would it be? Somebody on your bucket list?
Chaka Khan.
Ooh, Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan.
Yep. Chaka Khan, that would be that's like on my bucket list, you know. Yeah, no, I loved her music growing up with, you know, it's like A lot of the other artists have been, I had the chance to work with Larry Dunn from Earth, Wind and Fire,
Yeah,
which was another huge band for me growing up.
I love that.
But Chaka Khan, Al Jarreau, I would have loved to play with.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever
Um,
get a chance to meet Al Jarreau?
no, unfortunately, no, I didn't. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Nils, we do a segment called "The Real You," and we have Dr. Graham who is here, who gives us a mind, body, and soul wellness tip. And so we're going to take
Okay.
about 2 minutes to have a conversation with her, and we're going to come back with a little bit more conversations with our special guest, producer, composer Nils. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for Mind, Body, and Soul with Dr. Graham.
It's time for Health and Wellness Check-In with Dr. Chantel Graham. Tips for the mind, body, and soul.
Hello, Dr. Graham. How are you?
Happy Monday. How's it going?
It's going good. So glad to see you.
Yeah, same here. I was listening to you guys and it kind of made me change my health tip for the week. Um, I think we need to address mental health. And I was going to save this for next month because next month is mental health wellness month. So I think we need to address this now. And I knew growing up, we would hear things like, oh, so-and-so had a nervous breakdown. What does that mean? You kind of understand as if the person just kind of lost it. But what was that disorder? And there's several disorders, and they're grouped by certain things. Like we have to look at what are mood disorders. That can be like bipolar or depression. Then there's anxiety disorders. Drug abuse itself is a disorder of mental disease.
Okay.
Diet or disease such as anorexia and bulimic. And I think a lot of times people gotta understand it's okay not to be okay.
That's true.
Not okay is not getting help. Now I have my blah days where I want to sit in front of the TV, eat gelato, and not answer the phone. I'm not talking about that. And when that day becomes days and it becomes weeks, we have to start seeking help. We cannot make diseases go away. You got to be treated. And I think often we make decisions when we're at a halt, which is the worst thing we can do. A halt, HALT, when we're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And when you make chances of decisions like that, it just throws everything so far off. Because you know how it is. Even if you're hungry, go to the grocery store hungry. You're gonna buy stuff that you got no business buying and wonder why my food bill is now $400 and I don't have anything here that I actually really wanted. So we gotta, can't be like that. And remember, hurt people, but whole people heal people. So we can't feel like if we do have an issue, we want to talk to someone. As a man, you can't feel emasculated because you have an issue. Or that woman, we can't be strong all the time. It's okay to take a break and step back. And we both know that when you are care providers for people, that by itself can be such a mental strain. You don't get an end. You're taking care of this person, but you're not taking care of yourself. So we have to seek help. For those who don't know how, you can email me directly. I'll do my best to help you. This is not to substitute for help. It's just a tip to get you where you need to be. And I'm here for it all. And if your therapist doesn't have a therapist, shame on them.
Shame on them, Dr. Graham.
Because if you're talking about that all the time, you got to have a way to let it out. Sometimes we feel like we are going to pop. And, go back to the Will Smith and Chris Rock thing. And I'm not taking sides because while I do not justify it, I understand it. And, Will Smith has his issues when his mom was being abused and he couldn't help his mom. So that could be why he acted out towards Chris Rock. Chris Rock talked about how he was bullied as a child forever. He had his own issues going on. And we as men, we don't get a chance to express that without being judged. So if you need help, don't feel judged. Don't feel wrong. When you don't feel okay. And address that issue, please.
Right. Yeah, and Dr. Graham is also a life coach. Dr. Graham, let them know how they can reach you.
My email is up on the screen, drgraham@life.info. Shoot me an email. This costs you nothing to ask me a question. I do not charge for that, people. If you don't know where to go, look at your health insurance. Look at the back of that card. Call them up. They'll have somebody on their list that you can actually see. So hit me up. Give me questions. I don't mind. I'm not going to charge you for that. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But no, I'm just playing.
And show them real quick your book before we let you go.
And I keep my book right next to me near the generator. It's a great children's book. Learning starts at home and it starts at a young age. Teach these kids about germs. They're always around. They're going to always be here. We have to neutralize them. Clean up behind yourself. Wash your hands, which you should be doing anyway. But we're not going to go to a different segment, okay? But pick up your book. It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Nobles. It's on Goodreads. But if you order from me directly, it will be autographed.
It'll be all right. Just sign it. That's right. And also, Dr. Graham, our special guest tonight, NILS, did you know heard of his music before?
Hashtag shame on me, but I know it now.
You know it now. And maybe
I learn so much here every week. It's phenomenal.
All right. And I know when you all in surgery and OR, you say you play jazz. Maybe you all can add his music in your OR.
He's going to be in the rotation. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's part of the rotation now. Yes, he is.
He's worked with Dr. Graham. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for such great tips. And we look forward to you being back here next Monday with some more health and wellness for us.
Well, I'm going to hang around. I'm still here.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
It's time for Health and Wellness Check-In with Dr. Chantel Graham. Tips for the mind.
Everybody, thank you so much, Dr. Graham. Niels, did you learn any great tips from Dr. Graham?
Yeah, I like what she said. It's okay not to be okay. It's not okay not to get help. I think that's a very helpful advice and line right there.
Right. I love that. Hey, thank you, Kurt. So, when I listen to your music, and I know I think about your music like Caught in the Groove, Play, City Groove, What the Funk. I mean, you have a catalog of just amazing music. I can't tell you a festival, when I look up your information, like festivals like Yoshi, the UK Jazz on the Islands, the London Jazz Festival, Catalina Island Jazz Track Festival, Spontanini's. It's probably 50 more festivals that you've played at. I mean,
yeah. It is the live thing is its own particular scene in smooth jazz.
Right.
It's a little cliquey as far as, if you notice, you go to festivals, the big you always see the same few artists a lot of times, and
Right.
sometimes it's hard. And I got in a little bit, in the relation for my radio success to my live performance success is two very different things. Last year, I got the thing from Billboard that I had. I was the artist of the year as far as radio airplay. I had more airplay than Boney James, Gerald Albright, and everybody else. I was the biggest artist on radio last year with current album.
Okay.
But as far as but then there's a lot of people they come, oh man, you are that guy, thinking when they heard Pacific Coast Highway, I haven't heard because I haven't been touring that much. And it's because I lost, in a critical point in my career, I lost my agent.
Wow.
And it took a long time for me to find somebody else who would really get behind it. I have somebody now, and she's getting, now that then the COVID thing happened, that didn't help.
Right.
So now I think over the next few years are going to be out more and more and more. But we see, for instance, like the cruises, that it's very hard to get in. There's big managers that have a bunch of artists, and if you want to have their stalwart artists, you got to get the rest of the roster.
Wow.
And that's how these festivals get filled a lot of times. And then there's room always for the new artists, like the From a Bone. But it is, I'm glad that I don't have to do that, because to me that's a job I hate doing. I'm not good at it, and I'm so glad I found a lady who's brilliant at it and who wants to put the muscle behind it. And she's gotten, I've been getting more and more and bigger gigs since I'm with her,
Right. And I think that's so important.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I think that is so important, is having the right people on your right team, having the right connections.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you, like, what has been, if you can share maybe some challenges, maybe getting before you had those people, like on festivals, or even maybe getting your music heard?
Well, I was lucky as far for radio. As I said, I started with the biggest hit in the whole genre. to
Right.
this day, right? And then the second song they released also went up to #1 on Billboard.
Right.
So that was good because it wasn't a one-hit wonder. And so I started really high, and I had so many successes on radio
Right.
that the name got established to all the radio programmers, you know.
Right.
But then, when that mortgage crisis happened, half the radio stations went out of business,
Right.
and a lot of things changed on the live scene. And I lost the agent there at the same time. That
Okay.
thing made me having to rethink what I'm doing, and I started producing other artists as well. Just
Right.
because, like, okay, me as an artist, I cannot support myself just with what I'm doing. These few gigs that I have.
Right.
Doing it myself, it's a very tough thing.
Right.
Trying to hustle, like hire me, I'm great. It's just a hard thing to get across. Some people have the personality, I don't. I'm better just doing the music and then have somebody else
Right.
represent me and do that part for me.
Okay. Well, I love it. And Nils, and I know you're working on a new album, and we're so excited. Could you play another number for us? One more number?
Yeah. I'll give you a sneak preview. Like this is one track from the new record.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be the single, because
Okay.
I haven't decided, and Ladle hasn't decided, but it's kind of like a cool track. It's called Cool Shades. Actually, I got to put my shades on for that one.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I needed my
And,
shades near me, but I don't have it.
let's check out, see if I remember all the notes there. I just wrote this.
Cool Shades, y'all. And this is coming up from Nils' new album. I love it. I love it. So
Cool shapes.
cool shades, y'all. So Niels, maybe we can do a duet maybe one day. You know, we had the
Oh,
glasses on.
Absolutely, man.
I love that.
Mhm.
And so when does the new album come out?
So here's the thing. I'm trying to get it done this month because then I go to a festival in Europe, playing in Portugal, the Algarve Jazz Festival. They're gonna see my mom. I'll be back end of May, and if I didn't get it if I get it finished, it will come out beginning of June when I come back. If I didn't get it finished before I leave, and I have to, I have to deliver at the latest the first week of June, so it comes out for July. Our CD release party is already booked at Spaghettini's in Los Angeles in California for July 9th.
Okay.
Mm,
Wow.
but
So who's gonna
yeah.
is anybody going to be playing? Are you going to be playing at the release party on the 9th at Spontaneous?
Well, yeah, that's the whole idea. It's going to be a live performance with the band. We go program most of the songs of the new records,
Wow.
plus the biggest hits, of course. So it's going to be a big old great concert. Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait. I'm so excited. And anybody else you work with? Any special guest surprises we can expect on this
Oh,
album?
as far as guest artists, no, it's my crew. I work my regular band. I have Clydeen Jackson, who is a beautiful piano player, keyboard player, and her singer. She sang on The Lion King. She sings all these LA movie soundtracks. You heard her on Avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Avatar. All these choirs, only two girls, her and one other, did the whole thing for Hans Zimmer. I mean, she's just phenomenal on vocals. So she's with me. She played and sang on the new record. My buddy Johnny Britt. He used to have a band called Impromptu, and now he's
yes.
doing his own thing. He's playing trumpet and playing piano and also some vocals. Because he used to work for the Temptations.
Right.
He's doing that, and then I have Gordon Campbell on drums. Pretty much Daryl Williams, my regular bass player,
Yeah, I know.
and Oliver Brown, original percussionist from Casey and the Sunshine Band. He's my percussionist.
Wow.
And so far it's it's pretty much my main crew. Sometimes I try to get a guest artist in, but then on the other hand, at this point I just want to get the record finished because I was like feeling like
Okay.
And the biggest pressure for me is that the previous record, Caught in the Groove, was so big. We had 4 top 10 hits, 2 of which went all the way to number 1.
Exactly.
And so now I gotta kind of set myself a standard,
Yeah.
that I gotta keep up with, and I'm getting there where I kind of feel confident because when you go through this process. I wrote a lot of stuff while I was in Germany last year, and then you come back and then you work on them further, and you say, is this really good enough? Is this going to be able to stand up? Does radio like it? And I try not to think about radio because I have a natural gift, blessed in a way that I have an ear for what works well on radio.
Right.
And there's a lot of people hire me as a producer because I kind of be able to move their music into a direction where they actually get radio success. I know what they want.
Right. I
So I
love
always know I'm gonna go in that direction anyways. But if you think too much about it, like after Pacific Coast Highway, my second record, it was torture trying to find up another hit that could stand up to Pacific Coast Highway. And these days I don't think about it anymore. I'm writing some completely different stuff, and each song is its own, hopefully a masterpiece by the time it's done, and then you do what you do.
You do. I know, and I know we're completely running out of time. And Nils, you also have another gig that you need rehearsal you need to get to, but let people know where to find you also on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, every Saturday, unless I'm on tour, I'm doing a show from right here. Right. So if you guys want to check what you seen me jam on, I do this every Saturday at 6 p.m. on the Pacific time, and that's go to Facebook, NILS Guitar, NILS Guitar, or one word. If you that's my artist page. If you like the page, then you get the notifications. And I go on 6 o'clock here on the West Coast, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. I do this every Saturday. So that's my Facebook. My YouTube channel is the same, NILS Guitar. You have my fan club website is also NILS Guitar, so keep it consistent. But then my artist website is also NILS Music. That's where you find my music store with all the merchandise. I have several books out. I have T-shirts. I have, by now I have 12 CDs that I've done. And you can download it. You can listen to everything in the store.
Right.
So, and get it. And so, and then the other gig I wanted to mention is when I come back, if you have any people from Cincinnati are listening, we're going to play Ludloff's Garage in Cincinnati on June 4th. Me and my buddy Johnny Britt from Impromptu, we're going to do a show together there. And I haven't not played Cincinnati, so that's why I'm trying. I was like, who do I know? But anybody who has some friends in Cincinnati, let them know. Ludloff Garage, June 4th, we're going to play there.
I can't wait. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Right. So
well, give me some numbers, dude.
I will definitely let my family know.
Please
to purchase tickets and come. This has been an amazing conversation, and Nils, I could talk to you all night.
Well, we got to do it again. We got to do it again. I'll tell you what. Okay. When the record's out, why don't we do it again when the new album is there? Then I actually can announce a title, because right now I'm feeling it's kind of like up in the air. I'm telling you I'm doing stuff, but I can't even say look for that album or all that kind of stuff. But once it's out, I'd love, and then I can jam and show you a lot of new stuff from the new record.
I love it. Please come back. And before you go, again, someone watching this, Nils, and they want to follow in your footsteps. Any words of advice or wisdom you can leave us with?
You want to do it. First of all, don't get time pressure. I find a lot of the artists that I work with that want to have, I got to get something out now so I can get gigs this summer. That's just setting yourself up for unnecessarily problems. Whatever you do, you want to make it so there's no excuse. It sounds killer. You put it on the radio, and people are gonna love it. You don't want to get something out that sounds like, okay, and if I had more money, we could have done this or that or this. Take the time. If it takes you longer, nobody's waiting for your next album if you haven't done one yet. If you're not in a record deal and the label saying, hey, we need another product by you, you're not in that pressure, so don't put that on yourself. I mean, keep working at it, right. but make sure you do it at a level that is ready. There's a lot of, like myself, and there's a lot of other great producers out there who can help if you don't have the skills and all the stuff to do it yourself. But you should first of all make it so it also has a long live. God, what's the word? It lives longer. Longevity. Yeah. So if you do it right, a song that you're recording today is going to sound good in 4 years or 5 years from now.
Okay. That's
And,
true.
and if you don't, then like 3 years later you hear stuff, oh man, I can't listen to this old crap that I used to do back then, you know. So that's a sign that you didn't take enough care in doing it right. So that's the one thing. And then don't try to copy somebody. Be yourself. Don't worry about what other people are
Yeah,
doing.
individuality.
Yeah. Find your own voice, you know.
Find your own voice. Nils, this has been great, my friend. I look forward to you coming back on Artist Talk. And can you hang around for 2 minutes for me?
Sure. I
All right. Thanks so much. Hey, everybody. Another great conversation with international recording artist, producer, composer, Nils. Don't forget to go over to his website, nilsmusic.com. All of the information is listed there in the chat. Thank you so much for your support. I see my friend Tony Walk. Thank you so much, my friend, for stopping by. Thank everyone for the comments of the show tonight. Thank you, Dr. Graham. And if you didn't tune into Artist Talk, and if you don't share the page, and if you don't know our artist, shame on you. Thank you so much. Go to K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. KWardRadio.com is the website. Make sure you subscribe. Any artists that would like to be featured, there's my mailing address. All that information is posted there. If you would like to support the show, PayPal, Cash App, all of that is there as well. So, hey, guys, don't forget to join me each and every Saturday on WVAS FM 90.7, Alabama State University, smooth jazz radio station, where you can hear music like Nils and so many other amazing artists each and every Saturday. Okay, make sure you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Make sure you take care of yourself and always be kind to others. We'll see you next time right here on Artist Talk.